Yo, what's good, Complexz Force gang up in this bit. So, hey, it's just me right now for this reaction. You know what I'm saying? Just your boy, Complexz Marvin. But, hey, we got 9 episodes of kids shows that dealt with serious issues by Blame It On George, bro. Hey, let's check it out, man. Hey, let's get into it. Y'all gonna just hear my commentary today, but, you know, I'll get the other guys for, like, a video on Wednesday or something. Let's get it!
The best children's television helps kids relate to the world in a way that encourages them to think for themselves, respect others, and make sense of a sometimes confusing and scary world. And when this last part isn't handled properly, it can have the opposite effect. But when it does work, the result can transcend kids' TV and become a public service. So today, we're going over 9 episodes of kids shows that dealt with serious issues.
Alright, let's get it.
Hey Arnold touches on parental favoritism and school bullies.
Oh yeah.
Hey Arnold is finally remembered by
this
most
shit.
children of the 90s, and while the show could have
That's why I'm glad I'm an only child, bro. Like, fuck all that shit.
a light comic touch,
You know what I'm saying?
it isn't given nearly enough credit for delving into social issues and the inner lives of big city children. The season 4 episode Helga on the Couch tackled a hot-button issue, school bullying, with surprising sensitivity. After Helga punches a classmate in the face, she's sent for a revealing discussion with the child psychologist. Some savvier kids may have already noticed that Helga's mom is nearly
bro, I ain't gonna lie, I might watch some Hey Arnold after this, bro. It's a goated ass show, bro. If you've never seen it, I suggest checking it out.
always portrayed as confused and disoriented, with slurred speech, and never without a smoothie in her hand.
Oh,
This is a strong hint that Helga is dealing with an alcoholic parent, and her therapy session takes this notion further by revealing that Helga's parents are shamefully neglectful of her as well. In a flashback styled to look like a black and white 50s sitcom, it's all familial bliss and laugh tracks as long as Helga's sister Olga is on screen. But as soon as Helga makes an appearance, the flashbacks turn to color and the laugh track falls ominously silent.
Man,
In the
that's
real world,
fucked up.
her parents' admonition not to blab about their family to some shrink and complaints about how this never would have happened with Olga only to serve to underscore the fact that Helga's aggressive attitude is a direct result of a lack of any positive attention from her parents.
Hey, who's taking me to preschool?
Yeah, in a minute, Olga.
No, I'm Helga, Dad. Helga.
Whatever. Go play outside, would you?
Damn, they do not
Many
care
children's
about
programs
Helga.
have touched on bullying, but few bother to look at its
Fucked
root
up.
causes, and even fewer do so with such painful accuracy.
God damn. Helga's life's fucked up.
Patty Mayonnaise starves herself
Bro,
and
no wonder
Doug.
she takes it out on everybody else, man. Her life's
It's
fucked
hard not
up.
to argue that mass media shoulders some of the blame for rising incidents of teen and preteen eating disorders. That the media promotes unhealthy body images for both men and women can hardly be disputed.
Oh, yeah.
Yet for all of the discussion of this effect over the last several decades, very little seems to have been done to change it. The Nickelodeon series Doug, later picked up by the Disney Channel, bravely took on this issue in a season 6 episode, Doug's Chubby Buddy. In it, Doug's crush, Patty Mayonnaise, despite always being portrayed as real thin, is convinced that she is fat after becoming obsessed with a skinny teen TV star. A commercial for a diet kit, pointedly called Waste Away, gives her obsession a focus.
Hi, Lardy.
Hello.
It's a sad fact of life that none of you will ever have a 9-inch waist, but now
Damn.
you can try
I know y'all females felt that shit.
using my Waste
That's
Away
crazy,
diet
bro.
kit.
Like, the fucking eating disorders and stuff is fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying?
And she begins dieting and exercising in obviously unhealthy amounts. Patty's track coach only encourages her dangerous behavior.
I'm kind of worried about Patty. She's been on this diet.
Let me tell you something funny. All athletes diet. You don't understand this because you are not an athlete. Hand me that fruit pie.
Leading up to a track meet in which Patty
Fucking
becomes
coach.
dizzy and collapses after completing a long jump. A teacher finally intervenes, explaining to Patty and the audience at home the dangers of going too far with dieting. And throughout the episode, Patty is shown seeing unrealistically fat representations of herself in mirrors and fantasy sequences, which is probably a more accurate depiction of body dysmorphia.
Yeah,
a
bro.
psychological
What I reckon, but that's not how you lose weight, bro. Like, all that eating disorder shit, that will just fucking kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, my suggestion is like just work out and stuff. Just don't eat as much. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to like diet myself, but I don't have an eating disorder. I'm not gonna not eat. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if a motherfucker's hungry, I'm gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? But you know, just all that like not eating at all. I don't know. Some people can't even control it. Like those eating disorders, some people just can't control it. You know what I'm saying? Body dysmorphia. I don't even know what to call it, but it's fucked up.
Condition that is present in most of those with eating disorders, then has been shown on television before or since.
Miranda develops an eating disorder in Lizzie McGuire.
I never watched Lizzie McGuire.
In the early 2000s, the live-action Disney sitcom Lizzie McGuire...
Would y'all recommend that show? Like as a kid's show? I don't know. I've never seen it before. I wasn't really a big Disney guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really grow up watching Disney.
Was a helpful guide through the perils of adolescence for many teens. While it only ran for 2 seasons, it made a star of Hilary Duff and still enjoys a reputation as solid programming for its audience. While the show usually dealt with garden variety teen problems, it too took a stab at the more serious issue of eating disorders in a season 2 episode. After an impromptu photo shoot, Lizzie's best friend Miranda panics when she thinks she looks fat in the pictures. She immediately stops eating altogether and is forced to come clean to her mother after she faints while at Lizzie's house. While the rapid development and quick resolution of her disorder can be chalked up to the narrative's limitations of a half-hour sitcom, the episode takes pains to realistically portray a common factor in the development of such disorders.
I'm just wondering what Miranda sees when she looks in the mirror, because it can't be what I see when I look at her.
For real, some motherfuckers think they're fat and stuff when they really aren't, bro. That's just some body dysmorphia shit. That's fucked up, man.
Miranda confesses that she has felt highly pressured by her parents and schoolwork, and that her eating was the one thing in her life that she felt able to control.
Like, all this other stuff just happens to me, but eating something I have a say in.
That's not true.
That's how it feels.
A sentiment that many watching at home were undoubtedly able to relate to.
Yep.
Raven experiences racial discrimination in That's So Raven. The Disney Channel sitcom That's So Raven, starring Cosby protege Raven Simone, was simply your standard teen comedy, if not for the fact that its title character had psychic abilities for some reason. The show wasn't known for strong social stances, but one 2005
I'm
episode.
sure I did a reaction to this video on my reaction channel, which y'all should go check out, by the way. But hey, we're doing it for this channel too.
Took on the issue of racial discrimination in a shockingly straightforward way. When Raven and her friend Chelsea both apply for the same job, Raven nails the interview while Chelsea does not. Yet Chelsea, having the advantage of being white, ends up with the job.
God damn.
What? Are you
Racist
serious?
ass.
I start today? You guys, I got the job.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, Jess, okay. Wait, no, ask her about me.
Ray, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're not getting a locker.
Girl, I am not tripping over that like I can share with you. I only got 2 things.
Actually, the lockers are only for the employees.
Why did she say it like that?
Are you saying that I didn't get the job?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ray.
Oh, I thought you aced that interview, Ray.
Yeah, I thought so too. I did everything perfectly.
There's gotta be some reason why you didn't get that job.
The truth is, I don't hire black people.
That shit's cringe as hell, bro.
When Raven has one of her psychic visions of the manager saying that she doesn't hire black people.
Are people still racist like that, though? Shit, probably.
The teens devise a plan to catch her saying this on tape, passing the footage off.
How are you gonna discriminate someone because they're black, bro? And then black people, they do the same shit too. Like, bro, black people could be racist too. Every race could be racist. Like, y'all say, oh, bro, black people can't be racist. Bro, yes, the fuck y'all can. Black people, they say some hate. Not all, but some black people I've heard say some hateful shit. You know what I'm saying?
Off to a news station and giving racism its just desserts.
It's a double standard.
I said, the truth is, I don't.
But you got some like dumb white people. I'm not saying all, but you got some dumb white motherfuckers that are still racist, still have that same old mentality, man. Like, that shit's cringe, bro.
You're black people.
And there you have it. Shocking evidence of job discrimination right here in San Francisco.
While the audience watching may have learned a lesson or two, Raven-Symoné herself unfortunately did not. While hosting on daytime talk show The View in 2015, Raven herself said, to paraphrase, that she would not hire an applicant with stereotypically black-sounding name. That may sound bad, but the direct quote is even worse. Raven said, quote, "I'm very discriminatory against the words like the ones they were saying in those names.
Like, was this supposed to be a joke or something? I don't fucking know. And I don't really care, bro.
I'm not going to hire you if your name is Watermelondria. That's
Bro,
just
what?
not going to happen. I'm not going to hire you." Ouch. Amazingly, this did not result in her firing from the show, but she did leave on her own a year later. Captain Planet teaches kids about AIDS.
Are you telling me I've got AIDS?
No, Todd. You tested positive for the HIV virus, and that leads to AIDS, but you don't have AIDS.
In the late 1980s and early 90s, before the advent of the internet, there was far more bad
That
information.
shit was scary at that time, bro, because no one knew what the fuck AIDS was. They didn't have a cure for it. It was crazy. It's a bad time period. That's why Magic Johnson had to retire.
About HIV and AIDS than good, due in large part to a presidential administration that failed to address or even mention the crisis publicly until it was far too late. AIDS went from an outbreak to a full-blown epidemic in an alarmingly short time. Of the few TV shows that dared to tackle the subject at all, beloved cartoon Captain Planet and the Planeteers perhaps did it the most directly. In the 1992 episode A Formula for Hate, regular villain Verminous Scum discovers that a local basketball player, Todd Andrews, is HIV positive after stealing his medical records. He begins spreading posters all over town spreading rumors that Todd has AIDS, hoping to cause enough fear and panic to hasten the spread of the virus so he can take over the world. Todd flees to an island and gets stuck there, but is rescued by, of course, Captain Planet and the Planeteers.
May I have your attention, please? A lot of you are worried about AIDS.
Captain Planet directly lectures the townspeople about the difference between HIV and AIDS and that the disease can't be spread through casual contact. A message again driven home to the audience in the episode-ending Planeteer alert.
That's good.
AIDS is a terrible epidemic plaguing our world, but two things make it even worse: ignorance and fear. Yep. A bold message for any TV show in 1992.
For real, that was a kid's show too. That's a good message right there, man, especially for that time, because motherfuckers, there were a lot of people spreading false rumors. Like, you could only get AIDS, like, through sexually, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless it's sexually transmitted. And motherfuckers didn't know that at the time, I guess.
One that all audiences needed to hear.
Sesame Street tries to teach kids about divorce. Twice. Sesame Street is one of the longest running children's shows of all time. We've all seen it, and we're all better for it. It's one of the few that has enjoyed the deep involvement of early childhood educators for its incredibly long run. It's tackled the toughest of topics: childbirth, natural disasters, and even death.
Big Bird, don't you remember we told you? Mr. Hooper died. He's dead.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Well, I'll give it to him when he comes back.
Big Bird, Mr. Hooper's not coming back.
Why not?
Big Bird, when people die, they don't come back.
Ever?
No, never.
Damn, Big Bird.
Why not?
Motherfucker does not know what death is.
Well, Big Bird, they're dead. They can't come back.
No, but that was a good way to acknowledge like death to younger kids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like the way Sesame Street handled it.
But despite its sensitive and gentle handling of the topic, a 1992 episode that was meant to help kids understand the concept of divorce was never aired. Written by the same writer who had taken on the subject of Mr. Hooper's death, Snuffy's Parents Get a Divorce was the result of a years-long desire of the show's writers to present the subject.
So that shit's lost.
Statistics at the time showed that 40% of American children had been affected by divorce, and for years it was a question of when, not if, the episode would be made. Unfortunately, test screenings of the completed episode were a total disaster. Their young audiences were confused and scared, and despite the substantial investment of time and money, the episode was trashed.
Damn.
Sesame Street would try again in 2012, in a segment that appeared only as part of a multimedia package for parents and children on the show's website. Titled Little Children, Big Challenges, Divorce, the episode simply features Abby Cadabby sharing her feelings about her parents being divorced, with friends Gordon, Rosita, and Elmo. Two big distinctions. The 2012 episode was only seen by kids whose parents sought it out, and the divorce of Abby's parents was presented as a past event, while poor Snuffy was still in the middle of the situation in the unaired episode.
Mrs. McGrady is diagnosed with cancer in Arthur. Arthur's assortment of anthropomorphic animals who are somehow just like every kid you've ever knew is a mainstay in any home with small children. It's known to take on some pretty sensitive topics, but perhaps its biggest risk was the 2009
Arthur,
episode.
That was my show back in the day, bro. Like, probably one of my favorite shows when I was a kid, to be honest with you.
The Great McGrady.
And I do remember this episode. I think I pretty much remember every single Arthur episode, bro.
In it, the beloved cafeteria cook Mrs. McGrady doesn't show.
Cancer's fucked up, bro. Bro, pretty much anyone can get it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to be as healthy as possible. You know, maintain a good what am I trying to say here? Maintain a good weight and stuff. Eat healthy. But shit, cancer, that's fucked up, man.
Show up for work one day, replaced by her nephew, who was a terrible cook. After a week of inedible food, Mrs. Ratburn tells the kids that they'll have to put up with it for a while, as Mrs. McGrady is undergoing treatment for cancer.
Mrs. McGrady is sick. She has cancer. Her sister's coming to stay with her to help her out.
What? What? Cancer? Cancer? Mrs. McGrady?
The good news is they caught it early, and her doctors are working very hard to make her better.
As would happen in real life, everybody reacts to this news differently. Muffy is oblivious as always. DW and Arthur try to help by bringing Mrs. McGrady absurd amounts of soup, and Francine falls into a deep depression. She tells Muffy that her grandpa died of cancer, and she begins having nightmares and suffering poor school performance. She's even too scared to visit Mrs. McGrady, a very common real-world reaction in children when faced with an adult's life-threatening illness. DW and Arthur learn that there are better ways to help, and Francine is made to understand that recovery is possible with a little intervention from Lance Armstrong.
That motherfucker Lance
the
Armstrong
episode ends on a real...
Bro, this dude really took steroids. Like, bro was a professional biker or something. This motherfucker took steroids and shit, but it's good that, he fought cancer and stuff and became cancer free. But bro, this motherfucker cheated, bro.
Realistic note as Mrs. McGrady returns to work, telling the kids that she still has cancer, but her treatments are helping.
I can't even imagine having cancer, bro. Like going through
Janice is diagnosed with leukemia.
That shit's fucked up, bro. That's why y'all gotta appreciate life. Like, there's motherfuckers that have cancer on their deathbed. They have to go through chemo every day. Like, y'all need to appreciate this life y'all have, bro. Appreciate your health. Because a lot of people don't have that. So I appreciate my health, bro. I hope to God I never get, like, cancer or nothing like that.
In Why, Charlie Brown? Why? The Peanuts specials were genuinely as lighthearted as children's programming ever got. For this reason, it was all the more jarring when CBS aired Why, Charlie Brown? Why? In early 1990. The special dealt with the reactions of the Peanuts gang, mainly Linus, when one of their classmates, Janice, is diagnosed with leukemia. Though Linus is the most sensitive of the bunch, the special was able to explore a wide variety of feelings that real-life kids could expect if one of their friends is going through such a thing. Linus has a crush on Janice, and he's anxious and fearful after he and Charlie Brown visit her in the hospital. Janice explains in a frank manner the tests that were performed on her, what her IV does, and what chemotherapy is.
Well, it wasn't just the fever. I have cancer.
Cancer? That sounds scary.
Linus is shown to angrily correct Lucy and later in the show about the disease being contagious. And after Janice returns to school bald from chemotherapy, he stands up to a bully who teases her about her affliction,
That's fucked up.
asking him what it would feel like if he had to go through what she has.
Would you like to go through what she's gone through? Think about it! Or don't you ever think about anything?
Damn, W. Linus.
Linus later tries to visit her at home, but she's in the hospital again, allowing her sisters to vent about how they feel left out since Janice has been sick. A very real reaction that a lot of kids would feel in similar situations. The special ends on a positive note as Janice returns to school with a full head of hair, indicating that the treatment worked and she recovered. This was the first time an animated series has ever addressed the topic of cancer directly. And while it may have seemed like a giant risk, critics and audiences generally agreed that it was handled amazingly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this could be an all-time classic, and I highly recommend that you watch it the moment you can.
I might check it out. But there's one more.
Zoom helps children deal with 9/11 just 10 days after 9/11. With its constantly changing and ever relatable cast, Zoom had a long tradition of helping kids relate to each other despite their differences. This was perhaps never more important than in the aftermath of September 11th, 2001. And to the producer's credit, they knew it. Zoom, America's Kids Respond, aired on PBS just 10 days after the attacks, at a time when most Americans, kids included, were dealing with an unprecedented level of psychological stress. The half-hour special showed the Zoom cast talking with each other about their feelings around the event, with other segments featuring kids from around the country doing the same. More than that, it highlighted relief efforts across the US, showing how kids and adults alike were coming together to help make a difference in their own communities. PBS repeated the format a year later with a similar special, Zoom, America's Kids Remember. A recurring theme expressed by the cast members in this special had to do with acts of kindness and sense of togetherness that they had felt in the immediate aftermath of the attacks, and the fear that a year later, these were starting to fade. Maybe if more adult programming were as thoughtful and genuine, the US would be a better place for all of us today.
Shit, maybe, bro. But hey, bro, what did y'all think about that video? Y'all let me know. Bro, give us some recommendations on what we should react to. Like, y'all let us know in the comments, bro, or hit us up in the Complexz Force DMs. But hey, man, I'm out of here. Peace. Fuck.